Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday so far. Thank you for being here with me. We'll be answering some questions, hanging out, enjoying this hopefully relaxed Sunday. Give a few minutes here, let people trickle in. Put something on screen here. I've been enjoying this infinite craft game, combining different words to make new things. I think I'm going to try to make poetry and writing on here today. See what we can come out of that. All right, so water and fire made steam. Let's see if we get steam and water or steam and fire. What does that do? An engine. We made a steam engine. A tractor. Okay, that's pretty funny. Very good. Let's see. Just killing time, letting people show up. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's get this off screen real quick. We'll come in. Hey, John, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Yeah, my check-in was a little bit late today for sure. Got to sleep in a little bit, made the best of it. It's been slow moving. Let's see. What words can we combine to maybe find poetry or sobriety? That'd be an interesting project I think I want to take on today. So we've got water and that makes lake. It's kind of going the wrong way. Steam and lake makes a cloud. What do I do with that? Cloud and earth makes rain. Let's see. Let's map some of these out here. The cloud that makes the rain that falls on the earth. I was going to see if I could write a poem using these words, but I don't think it'll be very easy, so we'll see how we can do that. A 100-word poem. That would be a pretty cool idea. I don't think I've ever looked at word count as a restriction. That could be a fun project. Yeah, that would be something new for me. Let me write that down, actually. 100 words. Yeah, the 100 days is coming up. It's coming up Thursday. That's right around the corner, it feels like. Pretty crazy. What would it be about, do you think? Just a 100-word restriction, or make it about the days, maybe? That would be a cool idea. I don't think I could fill 100 lines with Chuck Norris. I could try, though. That's actually probably a good thing to get advice for. I should make a community poll about that. 100-day project, like a 100-word poem I really like. I think it was Mother of Nerdlings that suggested doing like a book giveaway or like a signed copy of the book for 100 days and doing some kind of like a random drawing or something from people that comment on a certain post or things like that. Could be cool. It feels kind of like self-promoty, almost, like in a way that I'm not. I don't know. I need to get better about doing that. But it just feels like the goal doesn't align for me. Like I'm not trying to. Oh, what's the word? Like sell myself or like advertise my stuff like that. But I should like just kind of making my content to hopefully help people. Let's see. Let's put this on stream anyway. How I felt from day 1 to 100. Yeah, that'd be a fun project. I don't know if I could condense that into 100 words, so that'd be hard. I could try. It would end up being like one word per day. That could be. Let's see. I don't know if this is going to work the way I want it to. There we go. Make this so people can see it, maybe. I don't think that you meant right now, but it's just something that I would like to keep track of. Like that's pose. Wow, I can't write this morning. There you go. How's your Sunday going, John? I hope it's at least laid back. Really, the weather's nice for you. We had a bunch of fresh snow last night. Like an inch and a half, 2 inches of fresh powder this morning. Yeah, that's kind of been my approach to it. It's like this is what's worked for me, and I hope that it'll help people that want to look for that way, or people that might resonate with it. That's my goal. Especially with that book, with Rise specifically. Like that book is intended to do that. Like I want that to end up being a conversation starter or helping people that have a hard time putting their feelings into words. Show them that you can start with someone else's words and kind of expand on how you feel about a situation. I think that would be ideal. Let's see. Rain and Rain. I don't know if I'll be able to write a poem with this game either. I had this idea to write a poem using the words in Infinite Craft, but I'm not sure I'll be able to write something with it. I'll have to make a lot more words to get that far. Watching the last stream back, I felt like I was the head center of the screen for a lot of it, and I mean, yeah, it's a stream of Q&A and stuff like that, but I don't know. I felt like if this is all that people see is just my head in big frame, like it might be not something people want to see. It's like me just sitting here staring at the camera. I hope you're having a good day. So I was trying to find something to put on the back screen. Like this game seems pretty lighthearted. I can put it on and still talk and still see chat, and I don't know. Just kind of experimenting. I'm hanging out, trying to have some fun chatting with people today. I did have a good question that showed up on the community post for people pursuing sobriety, and it was how to deal with alcohol being so present when you're trying to pursue sobriety. Like, alcohol is literally everywhere. And I wanted to answer that. I wanted to kind of talk about that. And I responded in the community post, but hey, Bob, how's it going? Good to see you. What it boils down to is, with alcohol being basically everywhere, my theory is do anything you have to do to avoid it if you are going to be overcome with temptation, no matter how extreme it might feel to other people. You are the one who knows yourself. Hey, Speedy Boy. I'm doing pretty good today. It's going pretty good. I'm having a pretty laid back Sunday so far. Yeah. What's going on, Bob? Is there anything you want to talk about? I saw your comment on my check-in this morning, and I went back and listened to the audio, and I saw that it was kind of clipping. It was off to a slow start. It's going good, but my Sunday was kind of off to a slow start. Not sure what happened with my audio for that portion. Oh wow, that's a huge time difference. Well, that's good. I hope you're having a good evening. That's cool. Yeah, it's just noon here for me. Just like the middle of the day. Excuse me. Let's see. Rain and rain makes a rainbow. Rainbow and cloud goes back to rain. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day too. But sorry, I got lost track of my train of thought here. That question on what to do with alcohol being so prevalent in society, it's so commonplace, you can find it everywhere. And what it boils down to for me is avoiding it at any cost, no matter how extreme it might feel to your peers or how much somebody might encourage you that no, it's okay. Like, you don't have to get it, just go. Like, if you know that you're going to be feeling that way around it and you can't trust yourself, like if you're going to the grocery store and you know there's an aisle of liquor and beer, have somebody go with you that won't let you put it in your cart. If you know that you can't go to the grocery store at all, even if you don't have somebody to go with you and encourage you in that way, use the grocery pickup if that's an option for you. There are extremes that you can go to avoid it. If you go to the gas station, you can pay at the pump. If you go to grocery stores, you can avoid it. You can have somebody go with you. If you're on an airplane, that's been the hardest one for me. When I was on the airplane and the drink cart was coming down the aisle, it was one of the hardest things for me that I wasn't expecting. I had subconsciously combined flying with drinking, and that drink cart was coming, and I started to have the closest thing I've had to a nervous break in a while about my sobriety. I'm sorry for all of that that's happening, Bob. That sounds like a lot. It is a kind of a poster to you, though, of how strong you're viewed by those people if you're being relied on in such a way. I think that there's a lot of strength there. I think it's a very strong thing to have to deal with, be dealing with. Here, I'll hide this. Go back to big screen for a minute. No, that's fine. You don't have to divulge any more than you're comfortable with either. I'm not trying to pry, and if I can just talk and answer questions. Or if you have any questions, or if you'd like to explain, I can do some back and forth. Like, I appreciate finding out about your life. Yeah, it's hard. That's a lot. I remember when the house I grew up in got sold, and I wasn't even informed that it was happening until after it had happened, and it was very emotional for me. Like, it was very rough experience overall. I ended up moving away from the town because I there's just a lot of memories steeped in a property like that. Absolutely. Hey, Pizza Dave. I hope you're having a good day. It's good to see you guys. I appreciate you being here with me. Oh, welcome back, sweetie boy. Yeah, that it seems like when it rains, it pours, man, and that's been true with life for me. And one thing that I've been super thankful for over the last couple of months is not escaping those hard moments. Like, there are times, like 6 months ago, that I would immediately turn to, I need to, I need to get drunk. I need to disconnect my brain. I need to just numb what I'm feeling in this moment. And I would run away from problems that I needed to be present for, and it just compounds. It just makes it worse going forward. And my partner underwent some medical procedures and needed support in those moments, and I was able to be there and be supportive and be present, and it was very much um, awakening for me to realize that in those moments. I was so thankful and so proud to be present and not running away from it. And it's just kind of been back to back. Yeah, I grew up in a very small town, and that's very true. I'm at I've been there for going to have a lot of emotional triggers present that you might not even think about until it happens. And it's like, oh wow, this is so steeped in memory. I've been back to visit a few times in the last couple years, a couple of times. My mom still lives there. I'll move back there, so I've been back to visit since then. But the town has changed so much that it doesn't even feel like the same place where I grew up anymore. There's still a lot of similarities and a lot of those triggers, and you run into the people that you used to hang out with all the time, and it's like, yeah, I think it's a good thing if you have any possibility to spend some time away from your hometown. I think it's beneficial emotionally and mentally. Tomato, green pepper, and hamburger. Sounds good. I like that. It seems very straightforward. Seems like a good pizza. Let's see. Pizza Dave, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza? Is that the cardinal sin, or is that acceptable? Does it depend on the person? Is it a thing that you feel strongly about? Well, I hope you're having a good Sunday, sweetie boy. What happens when we combine steam and fire? It is very popular. Yeah, I've kind of indifferent. I'll eat just about any pizza. There were I spent a lot of time working in a pizza parlor, and tried just about every combination you can make. Due to that, we used to get a take home pie at the end of shift. You could make it up and bring it home with you. So I would experiment. Will that be something that happens after the selling of that home, Bob? Is that something that's kind of keeping you there for the moment? Yeah, I definitely have felt kind of stuck. Yeah, no, it is a very strange feeling being somewhere that's just changing around you, even if you haven't left. Like I've had the ability to leave and come back, and it's very shocking when you come back and the place has changed completely from what you remember. But I imagine being in the location the whole time that it's been changing is definitely got to be a strange feeling for sure. Barbecue and peppers. That sounds like a good pizza. Um, my go-to pizza is a little bit strange. I call it fireworks pizza because it is just very different. But it's a garlic parm sauce with Italian sausage, olives, and pineapple on it. Um, I've ordered that pizza for probably the better part of 3 or 4 years now. It's been my go-to pizza order. I have. I've always lived in Alaska. I've lived all over Alaska, but I've always stayed in this state. I've actually only been out of the state a handful of times as an adult. I went on my first vacation as an adult just last year, and then I've left the state twice this year. Once for medical, and then once for a magic tournament that I was going down to play in. But I've lived in Seward, Anchorage, Fairbanks, Delta Junction. I spent a little bit of time in Healy. That's where I kind of live now during the week. So I live in Fairbanks predominantly, but during the work week, I'm down in Healy and I stay in a man camp in a little travel trailer down there. But starting in like South Central, and then I've just kind of lived and been slowly moving my way further north into the state. But when I was a teenager, I worked on commercial fishing boats and I worked all over the coast. I worked out of, it's not Barrow anymore, but it was Barrow when I was there, out on the coast. I spent some time in Kodiak, but all within Alaska. Like I've never lived anywhere else. Yeah, that's a very very hard thing to be going through, Bob. And I feel you on that. I've been trying to be supportive of my dad for many years, and it's very difficult. A lot of my beliefs on helping people and talking to people that are going through problems with substance abuse and have to be willing to help themselves is influenced by my family members, specifically my dad and me. I mean, my experiences that have been kind of compounded because of that. But I think it's very, very strong that you were able to be there and help them. Absolutely. I am not as strong as you are for that. It is a risky thing for me to be exposed for very long around. But when I lived in Delta Junction, that was where I had the most active time of use in my entire life. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty different upbringing. Like my Seward, where I grew up, had 3,000 people total. And on 4th of July, it would go to 30,000 people overnight because of one of the Mount Marathon race that happens in Seward. People would come, like fly in, drive up. They would come from all over the world to to be there for that race. But, and people always ask, why have I stayed in Alaska the whole time? It's like, well, I don't know any other place on Earth that's as beautiful as it is up here, and everyone that I've met that has come up here for vacation says it's so beautiful they want to come up. And I've traveled a little bit, and I've yet to find a place that compares to home. But that's probably very jaded because I'm not very traveled. Like, I've traveled in the United States, but I haven't traveled very far at all. Yeah, I do hope that it works out that you are able to get situated or moved on from that place if you're having so many triggers and having a hard time being in that area. I do hope that it works out. If you'd like to move on and move to a new location, I hope that you're able to do that for sure. The Vermonter. That's a pretty cool name for a pizza, Pizza Dave. I would order that in a heartbeat. Let's see. I had some other questions pulled up. That was the one that I had written down on my paper. Let's see if I can get this here. No, I think I've answered that one already. Sorry, I have to be cognizant of my phone. I have somebody coming to scrape the hard packed snow out of my driveway today, so I need to get my cars moved out when he's on his way. So I might have to take a brief intermission during stream. But I am planning on streaming for another hour and a half, going until 2 p.m. for me. Just a heads up. Let's see. What's something that's happened in the last week since we talked last that's been a win or a victory for you guys? Has there been anything that's happened over the last week that has felt good? I know I've had a lot of time to kind of reflect on that hike that I tried to go up the mountain and time up there, and that was a very big win for me. And I started to try and experiment making other shorts other than my daily check-ins, and that has been a lot of fun. That's cool. Are you close with that side of your family, Bob? Very cool. I hope that works out for sure. Hey, Henry, how's it going? I hope that you're having a good Sunday. Just hanging out, chatting. So, Pizza Dave, do you have sounds like you have a pizza shop? Is that a place that you've started, or? Oh, wow. That is a very cool place to be checking in. I am having a pretty lazy Sunday at home in Alaska. It is probably a lot colder than the Bahamas. I'm enjoying hanging out and spending time with chat here, so it's been fun so far. I had a pretty lazy morning. We went and got burritos at a coffee hut. Went and did a little bit of grocery shopping, came back home. It's my father's. Ludlow Village Pizza. Am I saying that right? Is it Ludlow or is it Ludlow? I'm just showing how much I don't know how to say words here for being a writer. Hey, Drug World Addict, thank you. I appreciate the support. I hope that you're having a good Sunday. That is one thing that I didn't realize either about smoking being a hunger suppressant. I'm talking about when you quit, you need to have something to do. Yeah, I feel that a lot. I went through that. Yeah, I am on call a lot of weekends in a month. I have usually one weekend a month that I'm not on call or have a chance of being called into work. So I try to take advantage of them. Ludlow. Okay. What is going on with this emoji? What is happening here? That is a funny looking face. I don't look at emojis on my computer very often. It's usually on my phone, so I don't know how all of them look on the computer here. But yeah, no, Henry, I don't have very many weekends off either, so I try to take big advantage of them when I do have a lazy one. And I've got a pretty laid back day stored up. I'm supposed to go to lunch with a friend after a little while after stream ends and get caught up. How low can you go? Ludlow. That's very cool. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to write that down. That's awesome to have family that you're close to. You have a chance to be able to live nearby. I hope that happens for you, Bob. Seriously. And it's kind of sad how close I live to my brother, and I see him maybe once a month. We live in the same city. We live maybe 7 or 8 minutes apart from each other, but we're both just busy all the time. We would get the bad habit of getting into our own tasks and not really, what's the word, like object permanence. It's like, yeah, no, oh yeah, I have a brother, I should call and see what he's doing. That kind of stuff. But we're very close when we are hanging out together, and I rely on him, and I know I can count on him. But it's definitely nice to have that kind of family that you have that connection with, or can build that connection with, especially if you're going through any kind of heavy emotions or you need help. It's nice to have that support system. I don't know if you would call it a support system if they're across the country from you, but having people that you're close with definitely helps, even if it's a phone call or a text message. It's helped me a lot. Okay, I've made a pot. Let's see. It is a hella flex for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to find which words I can combine in this game to make poetry or sobriety. I'm trying to get to them. So if anyone has any ideas, feel free. Or any questions to ask, I would love to answer questions about sobriety, poetry, me, anything you can think of. That's what we're here for. That's what I'm hanging out for. Hope you guys are having a... Sounds like Henry is at least having a very laid-back Sunday. I hope that vacation is exactly the restoration that you need, whatever job you have. I know this time of year I would gladly take that trip. I say that now, but I get uncomfortable if it's hotter than like 65 degrees, so I probably wouldn't enjoy that for very long. Let's see, pot and tractor makes another tractor. That's totally fair. Every day is a victory, so every week is an even larger one. Steam and mud makes a swamp? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. I guess mud is steaming? What about a tractor in a swamp? A monster truck. Okay. That'll work. Yeah, I'm ready for warmer weather than what we've had. Absolutely. We had a final stretch of almost 25, 30 below last week before last weekend, something like that. It wasn't very long ago, but it was a final like hurrah before winter starts to give up. It's usually the end of February, the first week of March is the last cold snap we have. About a lake and a monster truck. This makes mud. Mud and mud makes clay. Clay and a tractor makes potato. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Where I live in Alaska, we have some of the biggest temperature swings. We're the hottest and coldest part of the state, depending on time of year. So there's a few months on each side where it's really nice, like fall, where it's 30 or 40 in the morning and then it warms up to 55, 60, and it gets back down to freezing at night. That's my favorite time of year. I don't even really mind the 40 below for a while. Like, I can handle that for a few days in a row, but I work outside for the most of the year, all the time. But I work outside no matter what the weather is. When things break, they need to be fixed. So I spend a lot of time laying on the ground or up on a catwalk, on a cantilever, standing out in the middle of the road. Like when it's that cold, it gets pretty brutal. I tolerate it. Comes with the territory. Definitely makes you appreciate the summer days for sure. I wonder what we get when we combine a rainbow and a potato. Is that like a pot of fries? Nothing? You can't combine a rainbow and a potato? That doesn't make sense. Okay, apparently we can't combine potatoes with rainbows. These are not pots of gold over here. Mud and rainbow. Mud and rainbow makes a pig. Okay. Pig and earth. Pork. Pig and potato. Pork and pork. Pig. Okay. I feel like I'm just saying random words now. Let's see. Engine and train. Makes a locomotive. All right. We're getting up the advancement. These are what I'm familiar with. Locomotives. Swamp and locomotive. Train. Yeah, I bet Vermont is probably pretty similar winter-wise. I mean, you guys get really cold stretches too, right, Pizza Dave? I don't know if it gets quite as cold, but I know the last couple winters have been very crazy in that part of the world for temperature and snowfall and stuff. We've had several days last winter and the one before where it was warmer here than it was in places like Texas, at least for a couple of days at a time. And our infrastructure is designed for that kind of cold, but places down there like that they're not ready for 20 below. Like that completely kills the system. Like I remember seeing a bunch of stuff in the news about how people were dealing with that. It was pretty insane. Yeah, Bob. the nickname for us is the land of the midnight sun because there's a part of the summer where the sun doesn't actually set where I live. It just moves along the horizon. So it'll come up, and then when it goes to set, it won't go all the way down behind the mountains, and it kind of moves laterally across the horizon for the rest of the summer until it starts to come up again. So I mean, it'll set, but you can still see it, and then it goes back up into the sky, and then it comes back down. But we'll have, and then parts like further north, there are cities in Alaska, like little villages or towns that don't get the sun for several months at a time. A potainbo. Yeah, I don't know why we can't combine a rainbow with a potato. I think that should be a pot of fries. That's what I think. There's got to be a leprechaun thing in there somewhere, but maybe we'll find it later. Yeah. The first winter that I've had any issue with the sunlight lack was 2 winters ago. We had a record snowfall year. It was the most snow we'd gotten in a winter as long as I've been alive. The last time we had as much snow was before I was born. And it was insane. Like, it was dark and snow, just wet, heavy snow, and we're not used to that. Like where I live is classified as a desert. Like our snow blows away as fast as it comes down for the most part. We get drifts and stuff like that, but it was like 12 or 14 feet of snow in a 3-month time frame or 2-month time frame. I don't remember what it was, but it was super heavy, wet, dense snow for us, which we weren't ready for. But as a side effect of that, or kind of the cause that was that effect, was there was a lot of clouds. Like it was a lot warmer that winter, so we got a lot of rain, a lot of overcast. We didn't see a lot of sun at all, even during the day. And in the middle of winter, the sun will come up at 10:30 and it'll set at 2. So you'll go to work in the dark and you'll come home in the dark. And if you work inside, you don't see the sun hardly at all unless you get a lunch break or out a window or something. But I work outside, so I get to be outside in that nonsense. But that was the first winter where it was very difficult for me to want to stay here. It's like, man, I could go work somewhere where we get sun all the time. I'm in a job that is very niche, so it'd be very difficult. It wouldn't be difficult for me to move, but it would be difficult for me to move and maintain the tasks that I have right now. See, I wonder what a potato and pottery. Can we make a food container? No, that's just a vase. Apparently, a potato is a flower. So a potato in a vase just makes pottery. Okay. What about a potato and a train? Nope. It's 2 things we can't combine potato with: train and rainbow. Will those 2 things combine? No. Okay, so these things don't have very many friends. A locomotive and potato. A Sputnik. Why does that sound familiar? I don't recognize what that is offhand, but this sounds very familiar. It's like the satellite from the movie October Sky. Sputnik. That's what that sounds like to me, or at least similar to it. A monster truck and pottery. Nope. Monster truck and tractor. Makes a regular truck. Water in a truck. Makes a boat. About fire and truck. Can I make a fire truck? Nope. Fire and boat. Makes a ship. Well, I wish the sale luck, Bob. I hope that it happens sooner rather than later for you. It's a tough spot to be in. I feel for you. Don't know what that is either. Make a list of words I don't know and a list of words that won't combine. Okay, I combined a truck with potato and got French fries. That doesn't make sense to me, but okay. Let's see, wind and water makes wave. Lake and wave makes a tsunami. Apparently, you can have tsunamis even if you're in a lake. Pig and tsunami. Pig and tsunami makes bacon. All right, well, there's half of Pizza Dave's favorite pizza. Oh, no, the bacon wasn't the favorite. The bacon was the best seller. Okay, I remember now. Engine and pig. Piggy bank. Okay, we have a piggy bank. Bank and truck. A bank truck. Bank truck and ship. Pirate. That's cool. We have treasure and train. Pirate and train. Makes a choo-choo. Oh, we have French fries and French fry. That's different. This is the one lone fry that comes in the bag. Okay. Back to train. Let's get this out of here. Let's see. Hey, Mother of Nerdlings. Yeah, it's going pretty good so far. Good to see you. Just been hanging out, trying to take it easy. I was playing a word crafting game. I was trying to get the words to combine to be poetry or sobriety and answering questions along the way. So I had to take a break and check chat. I've missed a few messages here. How's your Sunday going? Yeah, I just found it. I just discovered it. I saw somebody else playing it, and I needed to know what it was. And it's very fun. Some of the combinations don't make sense to me, but I think that's kind of funny. Like truck and potato made French fries. I don't know why that makes sense, but whatever you say, game. That's awesome. Are you selling it yourself, Bob, or do you have I'm assuming you have a real estate agent or someone handling like showings and stuff, or are you doing all that yourself as well? No, I haven't gotten any of the words. I started from a blank page with just water, fire, wind, earth, and I've been trying to get to poetry, but I don't actually know how to get to writing or ink or maybe paper. I'm not sure how to do that, so I've been trying to explore here. Let's see. Earth and mud makes clay. I don't want clay. Rain and clay makes mud. Made a golem. That's weird. Yeah, I assume the housing market is just as wild elsewhere in the world as it is here. big investors kind of shoeing in on everything, or at least making it very difficult for individuals. Okay, I've got a Storm Pirate. I meant to ask you, what do you think of this background music? Is it too loud? Is it just kind of distracting in the background? Is it kind of nice? There's a few other ones I could try, but most of them are a little bit intense. We'll say that. Okay, perfect. Once I put my headphones on, it's hard to tell. I watched one of my YouTube videos at someone else's house on the TV, and the audio was so different from what I hear in the editing when I'm making it. And when I watch it back, I usually watch it on my phone. So I have a very small, clear audio sample, and then I post it, and I have no idea what device is being played on. So I need to be better about balancing the audio between clips. Music intensifies. I haven't done anything. I haven't changed anything about it. But if it did, that's just it doing that. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm using an actual microphone for my stream versus my shorts. But I was having a lot of issues with my mic itself, so I moved it very close. But I'm sitting kind of further back from my desk because I think last time I was sitting a little bit further up. 'Cause when I was doing my recorded poetry, I have to lean into my microphone, and I lean in very close, and I do talking like this, and that's kind of how I do that. Otherwise, my mic will spike in. Oh, what is the program? Audioverse. I'm trying to think of the name of the program that I use. Yeah, no, I'm using the microphone here, not the headset. The headset actually disables the mic when the microphone is up. It has a manual disconnect when the mic is put away, and then my default mic output is set to my desk mic here. But no, I don't mind you assuming at all. It's a very common thing for audio issues, especially with stream, and I've been out of live streaming for a long time. When I used to do it, I did it with no camera. I was very terrified of putting myself on the internet. That was 5 years ago when I had my Twitch channel, and that was just gameplay of playing Magic the Gathering. It had nothing to do with what this channel is about now. So I haven't done any settings or tuning for a long time. I have this mic and camera set up for my poetry recordings and stuff like that. Okay, that's awesome, Bob. I always thought that the legal processes and the actual closing and the paperwork stuff it's like, oh, I can just do that myself. And trying to navigate that as a first-time home buyer with very little information, the real estate agent made everything so much simpler, at least for me. I would probably do a little bit more research again if I'm going to buy again. I know for the buying process anyway, I really appreciated having professional help. Well, I hope you don't have to lip read. If I need to turn myself up, I can do that, I think. Gotcha. Well, I appreciate that. Okay, well, that's good. I appreciate the audio feedback. Yeah, the microphone is very sensitive to my proximity to it. So when I lean back in my chair, it gets notably quiet. Yeah. Let's see. I can try to move it. Because like the problem when I do my recordings is I have to lean forward in my chair, and then with the camera here, it just looks like I'm like hunched over in my chair, and I look like a complete heathen. So I like to be able to sit up and kind of look at the camera and look at my two screens, and I have my mic kind of pulled forward, but this is about as far forward as I can go without pulling it off the desk. Hat stream. Yeah, I could do that. That's what like one of the most iconic things about my shorts, from what I gather. People comment about the Fallout hat almost as much as they do about me. Well, that's good. Man, that sounds like a fairy tale, John. Free legal representation and advice as well as National Health Service. That's a flex. No, that's really cool though. I'm glad those services are provided. That's very cool. There's a lot of people that can make use of that. Well, first I have to get a plant, I suppose. I have potato. That's kind of like a plant. Maybe potato and mud. Nope, that makes vodka. And earth. Nope, that makes vodka too. Get out of here. Wrong words. Plant and plant. Let's see. So maybe tractor and earth. That makes a farm. Okay, I have a farm now. What happens when we put potatoes on a farm? We get chips. So I've gotten 3 different versions of a French fry. I have French fry, French fries, and chip. Okay. Oh man, that's cool to have that kind of a resource to talk to. I hope at least Bobby, even if he's not in the same state as you, is he able to give you any kind of feedback or check things over for you, or is that not an option with your current situation? I don't know if those kind of attorneys have like, what's the word? Singularity, like when you can only work with one of them at a time. Pirate locomotive makes a train. Yeah, that's true, I suppose. Okay. Where did farm end up? There it is. Farm and storm makes a tornado. Tree. Do I have tree? No, I have treasure. Tornado and mud. Let's see. That makes dust. Tree makes paper. Okay. I need to make trees though. How do I make trees? I have earth. Train and earth makes a tractor. Tractor and dust. Ooh, what about tractor and farm though? That might work. Nope, that just goes back to tractor. Oh, I'm so sorry, John. I'm not trying to make it frustrating. Let's see. I don't know if there's a way for me to zoom, at least in the moment. If it's not interesting at all, I can stop saying the words out loud too. I mean, for the most part, I'm not trying to make it a frustrating experience. I hadn't seen the game either before, just a few days ago, like I was talking about. There's a lot of content creators that are trying to make certain words and don't know how to get there, and it's just word combinations continuing on. Every one you make adds another word to the pool of words to use, so you can kind of compound and build on it. But yeah, I didn't actually think about that. I'm just saying random words, especially if you're not able to see what I'm doing on screen. That makes sense. I'll have to find out a way to see if I can zoom on it, or maybe my scale. Not sure. Oh, you're fine. You don't have to be nothing to apologize for. It's not confusing. Trees do make paper. You just need to know how to make trees. I think I'm gonna have to take a brief intermission. Be 5 minutes, probably at the most. As a reward, not as a reward, but as an I'm sorry. This picture of the sunshine. I need to go move some cars out of the driveway for the guy who's doing my driveway hard pack removal. I'll be right back. Okay. We are back. Thank you for hanging out. Sorry about that. Hopefully the sun was a suitable replacement for my face. This has no editing done to this picture. That is how I took the photo. I pulled my workbook over and was so flabbergasted by what it was doing that I had to take a picture of it. Yeah, that's true. If you go full screen, the comments don't show up. That's awesome. No, that's cool that you're getting a lot of the consulting done, though. I appreciate you lurking, Mother. Gotta get those watch hours, you know. Apparently, that's what I'm supposed to care about as a YouTuber. It's so goofy to me. Some of the comments that have come in over the last week have kind of blown me away. People are. I haven't responded to them. I've just kind of left them up. I don't think I'm going to respond to them. But some of the people are commenting like, "Oh, look at me! Look at me! I want all the attention." So it's not really my goal at all. Especially on my daily check-ins. I understand it's the internet and people are going to be trolls about it, but if you think that someone saying good morning and updating on the sobriety journey for themselves is begging for attention, then I think that you probably have something else going on in your life that is the cause of that. Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with the stuff that's available in StreamYard. As for a free streaming software, this has been pretty nice, the stuff that they make available to me. Yeah, I don't know if they're just jealous or if it's the internet just being the internet. Like people have this sense of security when they're typing on a keyboard. It's like I don't know who they are. I don't know what their intentions are. A few of them I've responded to. I've just asked. Like I'll point out because I can see how many times you've commented on my channel. I'll pull it up. It'll be their first comment, and I'll pull up and say, "Hey, I see it's your first comment on the channel. I was just wondering what your intention was with a comment like this, especially when you're talking about somebody." Sobriety, like are you doing this to be belittling? Are you doing this because you are trying to get that step and you haven't been able to do that successfully so far? Like what's going on? Like talk to me about it. And no one has responded to those. I'm sorry to pull you back from your errands. I think if I'm going to start doing these Sunday live streams, what is something that people would like to see as a always, like what is something that I can start doing? It's not just Q&A, but maybe a section or a segment. If there's something that I could do readings of, like writing a poem on Sunday, is there something that people would be interested in seeing that I could be doing alongside the talking? I kind of pulled the other game up so I could do that while I was talking, so it didn't feel like I'm just I don't know. I feel like I need to be better prepared or like have something scripted for this so I don't feel like I'm wasting people's time. The worst thing that I want to do is have somebody tune in and I'm sitting here talking or not talking and just like reading comments and just kind of existing. And it's like that's not very engaging. And I feel like people that aren't on my comments all the time or on my check-ins, like I don't feel like that would be very engaging for them. So what is something that I could do that adds to the engagement level of the stream that might get people to show up or provide feedback or things like that? Like I appreciate everyone being here. You guys are awesome. Like seriously. I've been very pleasantly surprised by the support and the presence of people on the stream. But I was curious if there's anything that you would like to see. puppy cam. Oh no. I could probably get a GoPro and on Aegis and let him show you a tour of the house. This is the couch. This is where I lay. This is the couch again. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think that it's easy to see when they do it just to be belittling for sure, and there are some people that just get insta banned. One of the things when I was streaming before, when I would used to live stream specifically with the intention of making it into something that makes money, like when I was streaming before on Twitch, that was all they pushed is you need to make partnership, you need to make affiliate, you need to get ads. Like that's what it's all about on Twitch. And like you need to get subs, you need, like it's all driven. So they try and drill it into you as a new content creator about being engaging. Like you want to be someone that people want to hang out with or talk. But I'm not about that mentality anymore, but I still want to be a place for people to come and hang out with and get something out of it. I don't want to feel like I'm wasting anybody's time, which is something that I've kind of struggled with. Okay, bye for now. Let's see. Do a scroll up and see if there's any comments that I missed. New comments. Yeah, I have a very hard time tolerating that kind of behavior as well, John. Whenever I see it, it's usually very easy to call out. It's like, hey, you're being a tool. You need to not do that, please. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but that doesn't mean that you need to say it, especially if it's belittling to other people or reductive of somebody. I'm usually okay with people saying just about anything they want to me, but if I see it happening to other people, it's not something I allow. Let's see. Do you do meetings solely online? Do you have rooms to go to in your town, AA, NA, etc.? So I haven't gone to meetings I think the last time I went to a meeting was 2019 maybe. And I had a very dehumanizing experience at this meeting. So I kind of haven't gone to them. I actually took a picture of a flyer on the bulletin board at the gas station in Healy where I work last week, and they have a flyer up for an AA meeting next week on Tuesday at 7:30, and I was going to maybe try and sit in on that and just give it another try, because I've been talking about meetings in a lot of my comments, and I wrote the poem about it, and I wanted to try to give it another chance. And I don't know if it'll be received well, but I plan on bringing some of my books with me and just offering them as like a donation of like, hey, I wrote these kind of about this subject, and I would really like it if it helps somebody. I mean, if people want them, or if it's something people would read, like here they are. Like you're welcome to. We can do readings with them or whatever, and I'm just going to try and see if that organization has any interest in maybe having a few copies of my book and do that. But I wanted to kind of give that a try, because I feel like it'd be a lot easier and a lot better received to go to the meeting and not just make that pitch over a phone call. It's like, hey, I'm interested in helping people of this group. Our views might not align if they have the heavy religious intent behind it, like the first meeting that I went to. So I'm not sure how that'll work out, but I don't currently go to meetings at all, Bob. I don't know. I'm going to try. That's my intention for next week. Next Tuesday, I'm going to try and go to another one. But right now, I don't go to them. For like the last 4 years, I haven't been to one. in 2019, for the predominant portion of the year, I went to a group alcohol or substance abuse counseling that was not AA. It was not affiliated with them at all, but it was a program called Fresh Start, and that was after my DUI. I was a court assigned. I needed to go to counseling for a year, and it was kind of up to me where I went. So I kind of got to pick. I found the one that I liked the what's the terminology? Their message, their intent. Like they have a kind of a description on their website, and it was more focused on the individual than this overarching faith driven, which is totally fine that exists and it helps people. That's just not the kind of experience that I wanted. So I went to this place called Fresh Start, and it was there. Like it was a group session, but it was very much individual talking to the group, not being attacked or put on display. It was a very healthy, and I actually really enjoyed it. But after I made it to the 1 year of sobriety the first time with them, I was no longer court mandated to go, and I couldn't afford to continue to go to the meetings, and so I just didn't go. It wasn't very long. I didn't, at that point in I'll put sobriety in quotes, because it was 12 months of court ordered. I couldn't have a drink, and I was in a headspace that was refusing to accept that I had a problem. So the day that I got my driver's license reissued so I could legally buy alcohol, I went to the bar and had a beer within the same day. And even all of the positive that happened in those meetings, and I really enjoyed the processing and the self-discovery that happened. But even with that self-discovery, I refused to admit that I had a problem with alcohol. Like, it was something that I was just adamant about. It's like, I didn't have a problem with alcohol. I had a problem with grief. Like I was drinking and doing that stuff to myself because of something that had happened in my life that I was incapable of processing. So I was drinking to process it, and it ended up being a terrible decision. That's just kind of the road that I went down. Like, I had a friend who's very close to me leave this world on his own choice, and I did not handle it very well. It was somebody that I had seen every weekend for the better part of 2.5 years, and then it never said a word, never did anything to kind of reach out, and I did not handle it very well. Yeah. Oh, that's actually a good idea. But I'm trying to use the shorts to direct people to the community posts, kind of tie them together. So, I have a question for those of you that see my content regularly. How often does my not shorts do my shorts come up? Like, when I make a when I make a community post, are you likely to see that just scrolling YouTube, or are you going to my channel page to find them? Do they show up kind of just in the algorithm, or are you making the effort to come see them? Because that's something that I haven't thought about, is like suggesting the community post or talking about the community post. I think I did that for the first Q&A, and maybe I should have done that for this one, because there were a lot of people after the last live went live that said they were sad they missed it and they wanted to be here. And I tried to be more vocal about the times and kind of talk about them and stuff, but I haven't seen any of the people that said, "Oh, sorry, we missed it. We'll catch you next time." This time, so Pizza Dave says, "I only get the shorts." Okay, that's good to know, because I don't usually publicize or my long form content. I've started linking it a couple of times in the shorts, but I don't want to I don't want to make it feel spammy, because it's not my goal. Like I don't know. It's a hard thing to kind of walk with, like, mentally. It's like, it's a YouTube channel, I should be making content, and then there's looking at other YouTube channels that just make content for the sake of making content. It's like, oh, why are they, like, why does this exist? Well, they're trying to get money. It's like, well, that's, I don't know, I don't want that. I understand it comes with having a YouTube channel, but and eventually if it does get big enough or whatever, like, sure, like, it'll be cool. It's not why I'm doing it. And I think that I need to just kind of wrap my head around, just do what I want to do, and if that stuff happens, that stuff will happen. So if I start suggesting my other posts and my shorts, I worry about it feeling spammy to those of you that have been with me or have been following me, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But it would be very cool to see some growth in my long form content as well, because I have a bunch of poems, like spoken word poetry, posted on there, and a couple, like my 1,000 subscriber special video that I talked about, and then the second time I went up the mountain. Like, those were super fun videos to make. I really enjoyed making those. There's a lot more to them than the shorts. Like, I make my check-in shorts, I make them every morning, like when I get up. Like, they're not pre-made or anything like that. I'm making them that day, and it's very cool to have the motivation to keep doing them. It's happened once where my partner laughed at me because I woke up, and it was a weekend, and I woke up and the first words out of my mouth were, "Oh, I need to make a video." Like, I slept in. I felt bad for missing my time slot. It's like, man, I need to make my video. It's something that I look forward to almost the minute I open my eyes. So that's been fun. There's an app called In the Rooms. It provides online meetings. It's worth looking into. It's free, or at least there's a free version. Huh, okay. That would be cool if I could do something like that online. If it's something that I could, yeah, In the Rooms. Let's see. In the Rooms. Oop, crap. Very cool. Is that how you're doing? Are you using In the Rooms, Pub? Is that how you're doing meetings? Doing the online stuff? Because that sounds very cool. Like, I guess it makes sense that that's something that's available. Like, that's very handy, and with the way the world is so connected to the internet, it makes sense that something like that exists. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how my experience goes on Tuesday. I'm going to try to go to that meeting in person with a group that I've never been to or haven't interacted with. I'm pretty curious how that's going to go. Sorry for looking at my phone. The gentleman coming to do the hard pack removal of my driveway is running a little bit behind, so thought when he texted me before, he was here and I needed to go move my vehicles, but he was just leaving his house, and now he's filling up his equipment, so when he gets here, should be good to go. One of the, I don't know, rougher things, any of you that live where there's snow, I'm sure deal with hard pack as well, but after a heavy snowfall, if you're not right on top of getting snow removed out of the driveway and then you drive over the top of it, it builds up and packs up and turns into almost like concrete hard snow. And then in the springtime, when things start to melt out and thaw, it is a miserable driving experience. They come through and scrape the city roads, and they leave you with like a 12-inch, 14-inch lip of snow getting up into your driveway. So anybody with a small car just smashing their bumper into the snow wall every time they drive into the driveway. And my driveway is at a little bit of a hill. That's hard, Bob. 2020 was a very rough time for that. That's very cool that you got to celebrate them together. It sounds like that is. I'm happy that that happened. Not that the situation happened, but have a good day, Pizza Dave. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. No, that's. I'm glad that you got to celebrate them. I guess is what I'm trying to say, Bob. Like that's. We kind of talked about it in the comments of the last one, and I am very happy that you got to celebrate them together. We'll see you in the good mornings, Pizza Dave. Have a good rest of your day. Let's see. Well, does anybody have any questions for me? I've got probably another half hour of stream. I'd love to get some questions answered. If anybody has any questions about sobriety, the journey, my life, it doesn't have to be about sobriety. If you have other questions, I'm up to answer them. Or at least I'll do my best. I'm definitely not a Defeat Lust says, I'm joining your sobriety, you the man. You upload and I'm a comment my win of the day as well. Together we stand strong. That's awesome. Defeat Lust. That is a very, very inspiring thing. I'm happy that you said that. And I wish you luck on your sobriety journey. That's awesome. I'll look forward to seeing you as the days come. I think I saw a comment of yours on one of my shorts. I haven't had a chance to go through and respond to comments yet since I posted this morning. I've been kind of a little bit behind this weekend, but I should be going back and responding to the comments a little later on this evening or tomorrow at some point. That's awesome. I hope that you have strength or make it one day at a time. It's the best way to do it. Pie. What did I miss? What did I miss here? I need some work done. Time to make that dough. Oh, that's a good idea. What about a segment where chat writes a poem if we do it together? Oh, that's cool. The rooms are kind of separated by different focuses of the conversation, or are they all kind of laid out for people going through? Is it substance related, or is it just about like counseling, like just meetings like that of that variety? I guess if that's a clear enough question, I can be a little bit more elaborate. I'm trying to parse the information. So, that's cool. I'm glad that you're using it. It sounds like it's been helpful. I'll definitely have to look into that. Let's see. Oh, here, I'll get this back off the screen. No, I'm very thankful that you guys have come out to support me the way that you have. It means a lot to do these kind of conversation streams and have people to talk to. I would love to have just a script to read off, but it's so so much better having the back and forth of the community. Like it's very rewarding. It's very fulfilling. I appreciate that immensely. I've thought about trying to go live more often during the week, but I don't have consistent internet when I'm away from home. That's why I kind of have to make like the videos and stuff. I have internet, but it's hotspotting through a phone, so trying to stream and keep up, and I would have I would have a very hard time, especially with just one screen and it being a mobile phone. I think it would be I think it'd be fun to do more of this kind of just hanging out and chatting and talking. Like I just don't know what day of the week it might be. So I work away from home Monday all the way down to like Friday afternoon. Yeah, no, that's awesome that their friends got to show up and be supportive of them like that. It sucks that the situation made it sounds like you waited for years, and it's hard, but I'm very happy that you got to experience that and kind of I hope that you got closure out of the situation. And yeah. Oh, it's yeah. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt with the first troll comment, John. I try to give one kind response, and if they respond to me, that's something that I'll reevaluate. But some of them I've been deleting. I I'll think a lot of the people that do that kind of behavior are doing it for engagement, and it's probably the best case scenario. Just not give them what they want. If somebody comes on your channel and they want to drag you down into the mud where they're at home, I'm not going to do that. And if they want to be belittling or talk down to other people, I'm just going to ban them. It's more important to me that people know I advocate for them as well as I advocate for myself, especially when we're talking about sobriety and people going through substance abuse. If I see somebody talking down to somebody else, I'm more likely to jump in and either ban the person doing it or defend them more so than I am myself. If they just comment at me, it's whatever. I'm not going to give them what they want. Kill them with kindness, I believe, is the expression. But I'll have to make a short out of that little skit and see how many people comment on it as trolls. I tried to pick a few spots from the last live stream to make some shorts out of. People, I think you guys have seen those. And they just went over pretty well. I was pretty happy with how that editing came out. Yeah. Other than my sobriety dailies, what are some short ideas that people might want to see? Like, is there something else to post about? I'm going to try to start doing 2 shorts a day. I'll do my check-in in the morning and kind of touch base with people, and then have something else later in the day that maybe not as consistent or scripted, but I'd like to start doing something more than just the check-in shorts. And I don't know if that's a correct choice or if it will matter to people, but I've been having a lot of fun with the videos that I've made for the channel this year, and just doing the editing and like learning the editing has been really fun, and being able to dive into this as something to do with my sober headspace, and like being able to dedicate time. Fun for me. I've really enjoyed meeting everyone that's come out of the woodwork and learning the new editing skills and that kind of stuff. It's been super fun. Like, I've enjoyed it a lot. So I'd love to find other stuff to add to the channel that is meaningful and doesn't take away from what I'm already doing. See if I missed any comments up here. Bob says, "Oh geez, sorry about the meetings." Yeah, I actually wrote a poem about my time that I went to a meeting. I'm not sure if I wrote it or not. Let's see, it might actually be on my phone. I'm pretty sure I wrote that one in my notes. Let me check my folders here. Yeah. So I'll do a little bit of a reading here about the poem that I wrote about when I did go to a meeting. Jesus. Hey, Zach and Natasha. My day's going well. It's been a pretty laid back Sunday. I've enjoyed it quite a lot. How's yours going? I hope that you're having a good Sunday. I hope that it's treating you well. Where did it go? Let's see. Yeah. Also says, "Oh geez, sorry to hear about the meetings." Yeah, so I actually wrote a poem about my experience, and I will read that. Oh, that's a good idea, Bob. I'll come back and talk on that in just a second. I'm going to read this poem real quick. I don't have a title for this one. I haven't titled it, but I would probably call it something like "Meetings" or "Convince Me" with a question mark. But thank you for your kindness, truly. But why do you feel the need to convince me that any way other than yours comes from invalidity? And are your well wishes so steeped in contingency? The first time I went to therapy, I told the room religion wasn't my path. They spent the next hour trying to invalidate me, warning me with fear in their voice of God's wrath. I wasn't a person to them, so I don't go to meetings anymore. When all it seems they want is to condemn, I don't want to defend my humanity anymore. I understand, you say, eager for your chance to speak, before disregarding everything I said previously, apparently reveling in the chance to critique. I'm so happy that you have something that works for you. Why can't you be the same for me? That was kind of tied into my experience with my first meeting, where the room kind of went around and asked. I introduced myself, and within the first 10 to 15 minutes of being in the meeting, I started talking about how I'm not a religious person. Like, it's not my faith, it's not my route, it's not my path, it's not the way I pursue anything in my life. And it turned into kind of a dog pile of why interrogation, like, well, defend yourself because I don't believe you or don't agree with you. And it was just a very, I don't know, it did not feel very nice in those moments, and it didn't feel like any of my answers mattered. Like, it didn't matter what I said or how much I believed what I was saying. They didn't care. Like, they were just waiting for me to be done speaking so then they could counteract and prove how wrong I was. And that is, I don't know. It did not feel like a very healthy place for me to be. Let's see. Bob says, "Suggestion. For the second short, you could show or tell viewers something you didn't feel like doing, lack of motivation, but got to it and felt better when you finished." Yeah, I think I could probably make something like that. That's a good idea. So that's something that I struggle with a lot too, Bob. Like, I procrastinate a lot. I'm very good at getting things done in a short amount of time, and I have a very bad habit of relying on myself to do that. It's like, I'll plan out what I need to do in my head, and I will decide, oh, that won't take very long. So I just won't do it until it needs to be done, like right then and there. And it always turns into a stressful nonsense situation. Yeah, and that's my experience with people that feel like they need to convert or like force their belief onto you. It's just not, it's not for me. Like I'm super thankful that they have something that works for them, and like I think that having that much belief in something is very strong. Like I think that you are a very strong individual and you have a lot of faith, and that's hope with another name. Like that's awesome, and I think that that's super awesome to cultivate within yourself. But it's when I've expressed that that's not for me, like I don't believe that the same way that you do. That's not me challenging your belief. I'm not being belittling to you. I'm asking you to understand that we can have the same goal with a different starting point. And that's hard for a lot of people in my experience. And I've met people that totally click and it makes perfect sense. I'm like, yeah, no, like that makes sense. And they're very jovial and nice, and we continue to interact with each other. And I've met people that I say that and the conversation's over. Like they don't want to talk to me anymore because we don't agree with each other. And it's like, okay, if you can't have a conversation with somebody because you have a different belief, then that's on you. That's not on me. But yeah. Yeah, Bob, I need to be more organized as well. Absolutely, I need to be more organized. Over the last couple of weekends, my partner and I are in the process of organizing our house and getting things kind of moved. And I'm a doom piler. I take things and I put them in piles, and I know where they are. I know where that pile is, but after enough things get added to the pile, it's hard to remember where everything is in the pile. But I'll know it's in a pile, so I'll go start sifting, and then that makes a new pile, and I move the piles around. And behind the screen is a disaster zone. I've got piles and piles and piles of stuff that need to be sorted and organized. Yeah, no, exactly, and that's kind of where I'm at too, Bob. Like I believe that people should be able to do whatever whatever works for them, and that's kind of why I'm being so public about my um, journey, because I'm doing it using writing as my primary focus, and that's something that I haven't seen very often. I have seen it before, but not to the nature that I use it. Um, but yeah, let's see. Have you heard of the snake in the yard analogy? Hey, Hattie, good to see you. Snake in the yard. I have heard it in recent pop culture as like snakes in the grass being I forget how that song goes, but it's I think in the song that I'm remembering, snakes in the grass, it's like your homies that don't have the best in mind for you. But that's I haven't heard it used as far as recovery goes. No. What is the snake in the yard as far as that goes? And in relation to religion, I don't know if I've heard it in relation to religion. That's awesome. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I've heard if there's a snake in the yard, you'd want someone to tell you. Hmm. Okay. like if you see somebody doing something that you identify as is not the best for them, then you'd want to inform them of that. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Like, I didn't realize there was a term for that, but I think that, yeah, having somebody's best interest at in mind. Yeah, I my experience has been a lot less just informative and a lot more belittling, but that's I understand kind of where that analogy is used then. Like, especially this, if you see a snake in someone's yard, you'd want someone to tell you. Pretty much means, let me see. If there's a snake in the yard, you'd want someone to tell you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that makes sense. And yeah, like, everyone is kind of jumping in here and saying, like, I don't have any qualms with it. Like, I'm super happy that people have all of these different umbrellas of faith to believe in, and if that's where the strength comes from, that's awesome. Like, that's amazing, and I'm very happy that it exists. And I'm happy that we live in a world where we can coexist together, and it doesn't turn into one of us is less than the other, because we all have a common goal and a common, not belief, but a common end desire. It's like, especially when we're talking about like sobriety and substance abuse, it's like, I don't care how somebody goes about it. If it works for them, then I'm super thankful that they got there. Whether it's like, I have a lot of comments that are encouraging surrendering yourself to Christian gods, or somebody's been on my comments talking about, I forget what it is now, but it was one of the other belief systems, but it's what worked for them. And I think that that's awesome that we live in this melting pot of a world, especially where this belief system comes into play. 'Cause I've been removed from religion and religious influence since I was a very small child. Like, my parents, one was religion based of their beliefs, and the other one was, but not really, is just in words, and it kind of uses it as an excuse. Like, oh, I can do this and just ask for forgiveness. It's like kind of this glove you can wear to get away with being a shitty human. And that's how I've met some people as well, that use it like that, like a mask. And I've also met people that are awesome and have the compassion that they carry around with them and use it for everybody. And it's this just umbrella, and people want to meet and talk underneath it. And it's a good thing that people like that exist. Like, I'm happy that you've interacted and shared that, Hattie. Like, that's awesome. Thank you. I kind of rambled there, but I hope that made kind of sense. Yeah, I think that has a lot of weight too, Bob. If it was something that you could know, it would be a lot easier. I hope that you're having a good Sunday, Hattie. It's good to see you in chat. What is going on with this? My green screen is having issues here. Okay, I guess there's just a block in the sky now. I'm sorry about that. I'll have to figure out what's going on with that. The world needs more compassion. I definitely think it would be a very big benefit if more people were willing to try to see things through other people's point of view, for sure. I goes a long way when you're just willing to talk to somebody. I'm ticking down to my final few minutes here. If there's anything that hasn't been said or we'd like to say, any closing stream rituals that we can get started on here on stream number 2. I'll have to come up with something for my send-offs, but I would like to start doing these more consistently, or at least more frequently, if not every Sunday, but maybe some form of normality to it. I think that would be beneficial for me as far as talking to a live audience and for the channel as a whole, just getting people talking and communicating in a live setting. I know I've probably said it so many times, but I'm very thankful for you all that show up here, and it means a lot to me to have people engaging and talking. I'm happy to be able to talk to you and answer your questions and learn more about you. And I learned a lot. I learned Pizza Dave runs a pizza place in Ludlow Village. I learned about In the Rooms, like an online room meeting platform from Bob Smith. Like that's awesome. Like I'm gonna check both of those out. Maybe I'll call and order a pizza from Dave. I don't know if he'd deliver all the way to Alaska, but that would be something. It's like, hey, how much will this cost? That'll be a $1,800 pizza. Better be pretty good. And then I got an idea for my 100-day special of doing a 100-word poem. I don't know how that's going to work, John, but I'm going to try. I like that a lot. I'm glad you found my channel too, Bob. It's been a pleasure talking to you and getting to know your story. I think it's been one of my more pleasant conversations that have happened and started off in comments, and like seeing you here has been very rewarding. It's like, I'm glad that you came back. I'm happy to see you today. It's been very good. Let's see. Oh, I realized that I haven't given other John a Chuck Norris joke yet. I think I'm out of jokes. I need to check my file folder. You're catching me now. Okay. All right, John, I've got one for you. Did you know that Chuck Norris was removed from the Street Fighter II video game? He was added, but every single button would do a roundhouse kick. And when the beta testers reported it as a glitch, his only comment was, "That's not a glitch." So they removed his fighter to make it fair for everybody. Oh, Hattie, thank you. I don't know if you're still here, Hattie, but thank you very much for that analogy, because I hadn't heard that before, and it does shed some light on interactions with people that I might have previously been just on edge or predetermined defensive about when I didn't need to be. I think that is a good analogy to know. And you've always been very respectful to me and very, very much kind and compassionate. So I appreciate you approaching it with that. I think that's going to be it for me, everybody. I'm going to start wrapping up and close up stream here. If there's any final questions, feel free to shoot them into the chat. We've got just another few minutes here. I'll start shutting things down, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your Sunday, no matter if it's evening, middle of the day. Likewise, Bob, I'm proud of you. I'm thankful that you're here. You too, John. I appreciate you being here and being a supportive presence on the channel. Glad to have met each of you. Means a lot. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to say goodbye. I hope that you have a good night. Take care.